More and more models have been released for Warcrow, and for the hegemony and the northern tribes, we now have enough to really play some full 250 point games. However, you may have some of the miniatures, you may have a whole army, but maybe you don't have anyone to play with in the local area, or you just want to try out some of the models and see how they play before you actually go and make the purchase. Well, lucky for you, there is now a mod on Tabletop Simulator that allows you to play Warcrow online with your friends. And it's a great way to just try out some of the models before you actually play with them, or whilst you're waiting to finish painting them and get them on a table. So without further ado, I'm going to be showing you how to get the Tabletop Simulator mod and how to use the mod and make sure that you are instantly familiar with it and can get on with playing some games. So, first of all, you're going to need Tabletop Simulator. I have Tabletop Simulator on Steam, and once you have it on Steam, then we can go to the workshop. Within the workshop, we can actually search the workshop for Warcrow, and you'll find that there are some mods already for Warcrow. What we want is the Warcrow TTS mod by Kyoza. This one is definitely by far the best. Make sure you check it and you're subscribed to it. Once you have that, then you can actually open up Tabletop Simulator. Now, once you are in Tabletop Simulator, you're going to be going to create. Now, if you're going to be playing with some friends, you're going to be choosing the multiplayer option, and you can set up the server name. So it might be Warcrow, and you can make it public, a friends or an invite, and set passwords and things like that. We're not going to be doing that because I'm just going to show you how to just set up the game. So we're going to do it on single player for now. But if you do want to play with people, you've got to put it on the multiplayer setting. And I'm going to the Warcrow TTS mod here. If you can't see it, just hit the workshop and you'll have all the workshop mods that you're using, that you're subscribed to. We're going to be going to the Warcrow TTS mod, and we're going to load that one up. Once everything's finished loading, you'll see here that we have a map here. This is the 3 foot by 3 foot map that we use for Warcrow. This one's got the take positions scenario on it. You can change the scenario by pressing 1, 2, or 3 for the different ones. Just be careful that 3 is a little bit bugged as it pops the map up. You can still play it, that's fine, but it does now pop the map up, and you can try the different scenarios this way. First of all, of course, you're going to have to choose which player you're going to be. So you're going to click your name at the top and you're going to change your color, and you can choose to be the red team or the blue team. If there's a third person playing, they can be a spectator, or perhaps they're teaching a game, they can be the game master and see all hidden information. But I'm just going to be the red player for now, so we're going to pop over here, and this is going to be my control area here. Here we've got the rounds and turn marker, and we're going to be using this to track the game. So what we do is every time a round is over, we're going to be turning this dial. To turn the dial, you just hover over it and you can press Q or E to turn it in the direction that you need, and it'll set in those positions. Over here as well, we've got all of our things that we need. We've got our wound markers. There's an infinite pile here, so you just pull them out by left clicking and pulling. And then if you want to, you can set it to a 3 by pressing 1 or 2. Okay, it has 2 different states that you can choose from. Same thing goes for all of these other icons as well. Here we can have, here we can have our event, and again we can change the event number nice and easily by just choosing the number, and it'll change those event numbers. And so we're going to be using those throughout the game to show different states and things like that. You also have the same with the tinge as well. Tinge can be 1 or 2 value. So, yep, just like you would have with the real icons in the game. So we also have objectives over here, and we can change these by hovering over them and just pressing the button 1, 2, or 3. 3 is going to just keep it an open objective, but 2 and 1 is going to change the color of the person that gets it. So if I come and take an objective, I can just drop this on there and suddenly I am taking it. If we wanted to set this up, we could always set it up like this, so we know that this one is not taken yet. Now, that's got that bit there. Now, what about actually choosing your army? Well, over here, we've got this table for creating your army. So we've got here the hegemony and we've got the northern tribes. However, these other 4 factions, at the moment, we do not have those as they have not been released. When we click on the northern tribes here, it's going to actually give us all of the stat cards, the profile cards and counters for all of the army that we have. Now, what we can do if we zoom in on one here, let's have a look at old Aalborg, and we'll see it's all in Spanish. But if we flip over the card, boom, we've got the English as well. So you can choose which side of the card that you need to use. We also have a counter for the character. So when we're building our army, we're going to be choosing all the models that we want to use, and we're going to drag them over to our table. Here we are. So we have our profile for Aalborg, and we have our counter for Aalborg, which represents the model in the game. Now, how are we going to be using it? Well, once it's on the board, and we need to do, for example, an action here, which is like a move. And we've got move of 3, 2. If we want to move 3, we're not going to be just picking it up and moving it. We're going to actually have to press this little button. There's a P1 here. Boop, and it brings out here this radial measurement for you. And each space is a stride. So if we're going to be moving 3, all we have to do then is left click Aalborg to pick him up. And we're going to be moving him up to the radial 3. And you can see the shadow there. It goes right to the edge. There we go. He's moved 3 strides just there. Then we just press Eliminar, and it will remove the radius there. And we can click it again. And then he's got a move of 2. We move it to the 2 radial. And we just drop it there. Okay, I've got it a little bit there. There we go. And eliminate that. Now, if he has a longer range thing, some units will have ranged weapons or ranged abilities, then we can hit P2, and it will give us a much larger radial that we can measure from, all the way up to the 20 there. It looks like it even goes beyond that. So that should cover you for all of the distances that you need to measure. And then again, you just press Eliminar, and it will remove it for you. And that's how we're going to do the movement and measurements in the game. Now, for example, here, let's put some Orc warriors onto the table for us. The thing is, we've got availability 3 here, which means that we can have up to 3 units of these guys. So what I recommend doing is you just highlight the whole lot there. And if you want a second unit of these, you can then just right click, you can press copy, and then we can paste it. Boom. There we go. There's our second unit there. Now, sometimes it's also hard to identify which one is which. So perhaps for my second unit, I want them a slightly different color. I can highlight these guys here, and we can go to the color tint. And let's say we want to just give it a little bit more of a grayscale on it there. And let's apply that. It makes them very, very dark. Okay, maybe we can just rise it up a little bit there. There we go. I got a slight different tint. If you wanted to do a color, you can always do a color as well. Maybe we'll move into a slight reddish color. Boom. There we go. And I can now differentiate between the 2 units very, very easily. That's how we kind of set up our units, get them ready for the table, and how we do movements and measurements. That will get you going for a game. But we're also going to need some terrain as well. This is very, very sparse. Luckily, we have this terrain pack here. So we can right click and we can search. We have all these terrain elements in the bag. So maybe we can prepare some terrain that we're going to be using for the game. It's going to have a house. Okay, we're going to have one house there. And perhaps we can have a wall and a wall. There we go. We're going to have a hay bale, and maybe we'll have a couple of forests as well. Okay, that'll do me for now. But you know what? I want to have a few walls, and I want to have a few hay bales. What can we do? Again, we can right click, and you can press copy and paste, just like we did before. But again, because we're right-clicking on an object here, it's not going to come up. It's a bit of a pain to do. So what I recommend you do is you right-click, and you're going to clone. And we're just going to click the clones down, and we can get, there we go, 4 walls. We can do the same with the hay bale. We'll clone it, and we'll have 2 more of those. And there we go. That's probably a good amount of terrain for our game. You can always just set them aside for now. Drag and right, drag and left click, and we'll just drop them over there, ready for the game to be played and for the players to start placing them out on the board. Once you're in a game, you're going to be rolling dice as well. So let's just pull out over here the Hegemony of Embasig, and let's go and get ourselves Drago. I'm going to pick up Drago, I'm going to drag him over. He's going to be in play now. There we go. And we're going to imagine Drago's up here, and Aalborg's over here. And they're about to just go at it with one another. And Drago's going to make an attack. If we have a look at Drago's skills here, we'll flip it over to the English. Let's have a look at his attack. Well, his attack is going to be a red, red, yellow, yellow, green. Okay, so we want to be rolling that. Over here, we can see our dice towers here. And we've got the dice colors all along the bottom. So again, we've got red, red, yellow, yellow, green. So let's just roll that. And we just click red, red, yellow, yellow, green. And it'll set up all those dice up at the top of the dice tower. They'll start rolling down. And we get our result. Not bad roll at all. Our Bork, on the other hand, he's going to be defending himself. So we're going to have a look at his defense. And he's also going to stress himself. It's going to be an automatic hit and a red dice. So let's just say bye-bye to those. And it's an automatic hit. And we're going to add a red dice as well. And it's going to be blue, blue, black, red. Okay. Blue, blue, black, red. Okay. We roll that down. And it's not particularly brilliant. We're going to be taking some damage. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, 5 damage because he's elite. We defended 1 hollow there, so that's down to 4. So we take 4 damage on Aalborg. That's pretty intense. So what you would do is you could take one of these, you could flip it to the 3, you could flip this, put this one over here. Okay. Now also though, we did some damage back. We've got 1, 2 damage back, and there's 1 defense there, so Drago also takes a wound. All right, there we go. Now also we took a stress for that because we were stressing the unit, so we take our stress marker and we're going to put that down as well to remind us, okay, our Bork got a little bit of stress. As that stress builds, you can press 2 to make it to 2, 3 to make it to 3. There we go. Some other extras just to know about is the fact that we've got here some barricades and traps. If, for example, you have the pioneers and they like to drop their little traps down, you can use these barricades here. They're the perfect size for it, and they will act as any traps that you place down in the game. You can always clone this piece that we have here. There's also some extra pieces as well. If you're going to be doing some of the special scenarios in the game, you can actually play with those. And there is a mission that's going to be using the fog tokens as well. So again, you can just pull from that fog marker there. At the moment, that's movable. What I'd recommend doing is just locking that one down by pressing L as you hover over it. And now you can just pull things from it without accidentally pulling the whole thing. You might even do the same with this if you wanted to set this up as an infinite creator of traps. But to be honest, we don't really use that many traps. It's not going to be that important. There are some things that just need a little bit of fixing in this game. As I said before, the map itself will pop up in a funny position if you choose the 3rd state. You see it just pops it up there like that. It's still locked in place, so you can still use it. You can still move things around. All right, one more point on moving a model. Sometimes moving it around can be very, very fast as it moves around, and you can't be very subtle with it. So when you've got this out and you're moving it, you might find it's a bit difficult to place it exactly where you want it. What you can do is you can, whilst you're left clicking, hold the right mouse button and you can drag it along the floor. Okay, there we go. And we get it right on the 2 there. I can see it without the shadow. If the shadow is hard to see, I can release the left mouse button and then the right, and it's in place. There we go. Eliminate that and we're in a perfect spot. Other things about the mod at the moment, obviously you do have rule books as well that you can reference, and you can just see the pages there. They've got the Spanish and they have the English that you can make use of. Other little things as well, just be careful that some of the special characters that are from Warcrow Adventures, it's really nice that they've been added to the game, but some of them don't have the English. Here we have Spanish and Spanish, so just understand that Ormuk is in both Spanish and Spanish. So he's the one character here that maybe just needs an update to get the English card on there. Hegemony also have a similar problem with a couple of their characters from Warcrow Adventures, and that's Naya Caladren is in Spanish and Neagon as well is in Spanish and Spanish. The others are all have the correct English on there as well. So just a couple of characters that need a little bit of an update, but otherwise pretty good. The game I found flows very, very well on here. We played a game and it went very, very nicely. There's also an army builder app that the fans have made as well. I'm going to show you that one now. So yes, the army builder, you can go to warcrowarmy.com. I'll leave the link down in the description. And here you can actually build your armies for Warcrow. So you don't need to register, but it's nice if you do, then they know that you're getting them and you can kind of save a lot of the stuff that you're making. But we're going to continue as a guest. And in here, we can go to start building. And straight away, we have here all of the models for the northern tribes. Now, if you want to change army, you can go into the hegemony of Embasig as well, and you've got all of them here. If you want to, you can always view the card. So here's the corporal. Let's view his card. It'll load up his card, and you can read over what he can do. Once you've decided, yes, I would like him in my army, you've got a limit of how many you can have. We can have 1, so we're going to add that to our army. Total points of 15. All right, we're going to be having him in a unit of Black Legion Bucklermen, so that's going to add 20 points. Now our total is 35, and command is 2. It's going to track all of that information for you. Okay, let's have a Gunnery Corporal, and we're going to be putting them in a unit of Pioneers. Now, if I can just find the Pioneers, there we go, and we're going to have that. That's 90 points now. We're not doing too badly. We're going to take Mahael as a cool sorcerer. We're at 125, and you can keep building until you get to the 250 points that you need for your army, and then use that army list to help you just build that army straight up before you run into the TTS mod. And then once you're in TTS mod, you can just build your army and play with them. That about does it for this video. I hope that was useful for you in case you're interested in playing Warcrow and you haven't been able to play it in person, or you don't get many chances to play it in person and you want to play it online. Make sure to go to the Warcrow Discord. I'll leave a link in the description. And there you can always request some games in Tabletop Simulator and see what everyone is talking about there. If you do want to see some actual battle reports in Tabletop Simulator, I would love to have a play with them, and I would be very happy to upload them to YouTube. If you are interested, please let me know down in the comments. If there's anything I missed, or you have any questions about using the Tabletop Simulator app or the Tabletop Simulator mod, please, again, leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and leave it a subscribe, and love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.